Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video on the How to Make an Hatching System series. Now before we start this video, I want to apologize for not uploading in around 13 days. That was because I had some exams and now I'm finally done so I can get back to uploading more videos. So in this video, we're going to be fixing a couple of bugs such as this one. So somebody pointed out in my Patreon that there is this bug. So if I open up my developer console and keep on spamming E and R, you'll eventually get an error and you won't be able to hatch anymore. Now right now I am able to hatch, but sometimes it does not hatch. And I'm going to be showing you how to set up the inventory UI so that we can code it in future episodes. Before this video starts, if you guys want to support me and want to have access to all of my project files, including the one you're watching right now, they will all be available in my Patreon in the $10 tier. With that being said, let's start. Okay, so what we're going to be starting with is going to start GUI, Xsystem, client script, and enter the hatch client script. What we're going to be doing is fixing the bug, so we're going to create a variable cooldown. We're going to call it cooldown, and we're going to have that set to false, and then scroll all the way down to here to your to here, and we're going to add an if statement right here. So if not cooldown, then copy this, paste it here, and we're going to add a cooldown is equal to true. And in here, we're going to add a wait 0.1 and cooldown is equal to false. Now we're going to do the same thing here in the triple hatch part. So if not cooldown, then copy this, set the cooldown to true, paste it here, and then we're going to set the cooldown to false. And now if you play the game, we should not have any issues. But before I do that, I forgot to add a wait 0.1 seconds here and make sure that we do the same thing here. Okay, so we have already done it there. So if we just play the game right now, that should work, and we shouldn't get any errors if we keep on spamming E and R. And yeah, that looks like it works. It's still triple hashes and it's still auto hatches. Hatches 1. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to set up the inventory GUI. To do that, it's very simple. Just add a new screen GUI and rename it to, for example, main. This is going to be like your default game screen GUI, so just rename it to main. And I'm going to add a frame, and this is going to be our main frame, and I'm going to scale it, and I will just center it and go to plugins, unit conversion scale. Of course, I will leave a link to this plugin in the description. It's one of my favorite plugins, so if you want to download it, the link will be in the description. What it does is it basically scales your UI. So if you go to mobile view, it should look the same, because if it was not set to scale, this is what it would look like, and we don't want that to happen. So make sure you keep this at scale. And what we're going to be doing now is adding a UI corner, and we will just set the UI corner radius to 0.1, 0. Or maybe 0.05, 0. Okay, that looks good. Or maybe 0.04. Yeah, that looks better. I'm going to rename this frame to main. So I'm going to rename it to pet frame. And we will just add a text label. And I'm going to resize the text label. And I will just set the background transparency to 1 and the text scale property to true and the text to pets. And what I'm going to do next is just add a just rename this to title, and I'm going to add a frame. And now what I'm going to do is just center this frame and position it correctly. And this is going to be like our info frame, so I'm going to rename it to info, and I'm going to add a text button to it, and this is going to be our equip button. By the way, make sure you convert this to scale for the info frame, and do the same thing for the title, and do the same thing for the text button, and then you can resize them however you want. I'm going to keep it at this size, and I'm going to change the text to equip. So equip, and I'm going to make sure that text scale is checked, and I'm going to change the text color to white, and I'm going to change the background color to green. And I think that does look pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to change the font to Fredocolon, and I'm going to set the background transparency, background color, to a darker color, and I'm going to add a UI corner to this, and a UI corner to the text button. And I'm going to rename my text button to equip, and I'm going to set the corner radius to 1 or 0.1. And after that, I'm going to add a frame, which will be our display frame, like a viewport frame. And I'm going to rename it to display pet. And we're going to add a UI corner to this as well. And then we're going to make sure that we convert it to scale. So unit conversion, convert, and scale. And now I'm going to duplicate my title and put it inside of the info frame, and I'm going to position it right here. And this is going to be like our pet name. Or maybe let's put it right here. And it's going to be renamed to pet name. And then we're going to change the text to, for example, dragon, or maybe just nil. And I'm going to resize this, something like that. And I'm going to just duplicate this and rename it to title. X coins. Now this is going to be like our coin multiplier, for example, or coin or maybe clicks multiplier. So I'm going to just change the text to times 1. And I'm going to position this right here. And then what I'm going to do is just duplicate this, put it down here, and I'm going to rename this one to times maybe clicks. Just some test currencies. It depends on your game. And now what I'm going to do is just add a scrolling frame and position it right here. And then what I'm going to do is change the border size pixel to 0 and the scroll bar thickness, scroll bar color first, to something like a nice light gray, and the scroll bar thickness to something like 3. And that should be it. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that this is converted to scale. And now I'm going to go to mobile view, and hopefully everything looks good. And indeed everything looks really good. And now what I'm going to do is just add a text button to the main screen GUI, not the pet frame. And I'm going to convert it to scale, and I'm going to position it right here. And this button will basically just open up our frame. So just scale this however you want. And we will just set the, we're gonna add a border, maybe a border, a UI corner. And we're gonna set the text to, text to pets. And text scale to true. And yeah, that's going to be it for our GUI. Now, I think this is going to be it for the tutorial. If this helped, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!